Welcome to Refashion series with me, Cara. Today I'm going to show you this awesome refashion involving an 80s prom dress. Now this dress was actually quite beautiful to begin with. It was just so dated, it wasn't really wearable, but it had a lot of good things going for it, so I knew it could be something awesome. It also fit my body quite well, so I knew the alterations would be more about style and less about fit. Here is what I turned it into, a more modern mermaid dress that's still vintage inspired and a little bit more classic and easy to wear. Let's go ahead and begin. So to start off, I did get this at the DI for $8, not hurting the bank. And the first thing I did was remove the sleeve. You guys, it took a solid hour to steam rip the sleeve off. Look at all that fabric and all that fluff. It was really labor intensive, but it was necessary. After I got that off, I removed this trim using my handy seam ripper again, my favorite tool. Here's little stop motion sleeves, side hips, and the lace on the bottom. Removed it all. Now I'm removing the lace. So rather than cut all the pieces apart and remove the lace and sew it back together, I just seam ripped right up to the seam between the lace and the fabric. This was time consuming but necessary to get rid of that lace and give a more sleek look. Now I'm putting on the dress inside out, realizing I need to take in the hip seams a little bit because they kind of flare out awkwardly. And at this point I removed the bottom skirt, and now I'm left with a weird triangle thing, so I try to fix it with some of the selvage fabric. I sew right over the top. And then to get a straighter line, I'm gonna go ahead and cut right here. At this point, I whip out some old school math to do a circle skirt. I didn't have enough for a full circle skirt, so I think I ended up doing a quarter or a half circle. So you'll notice that my lace is longer. That's because I want it to graze the floor. And to attach the lining to this lace fabric from Joann's, I had to use my seam ripper to get all of the beads off. Now the skirt's really heavy, so I added this binding for blankets at the bottom of the dress to give it some extra reinforcement before I added the skirt on. So here I have the skirt pinned. It's on the inside of the dress bodice about to be attached. And I'm gonna go and sew through it very carefully. Again, watching out for those beads. Now this left me with a really ugly triangle thing. Not a huge fan. So I decided to use some of this the extra fabric and get it over that triangle. To do this, I used my embroidery hoop, and I hand stitched it exactly over the same pattern with my friend Camden, that's my son, hanging out with me. Now I decided to put a sleeve on. I'm using Vogue 9251. I've used the sleeve several times, and I used fray check along those raw edges to make sure no extra beads fall off when I'm done. Now I'm serging the bottom to really make it strong, and I have to cut all the beads off in my seam line again, otherwise it will ruin your machine. But after this, we're done, you guys. We're done. Here's the before, and here's the after, but bam! So much more modern, but still vintage inspired mermaid gown from the 80s prom dress. Wearable, fantastic, feeling great. So if you like this refashion, comment, like, subscribe. I'm Metta on Instagram as well. Take care, you guys.